Tesla in China seems to be having one problem after another. It was a company that really seemed like it could do no wrong in China for a long time. But over the last several months, we've seen a number of regulatory issues. We've seen a lot of bad press in the Chinese media, a lot of criticism on Chinese social networks, all of which in a country like China is in some way tolerated. This would not be happening if the government were not okay on some level with Tesla coming in for this sort of criticism. So clearly, this sort of honeymoon that Tesla was having in China, just incredible success, almost unheard of success for a foreign company of almost any kind, has come to an end, and they're into a much more difficult period in what is the world's largest automotive market. We've seen little hints of it bit by bit. Originally in February of this year, there was some news that regulators, including some quite important Chinese market regulation agencies, had summoned Tesla executives for meetings over what the government referred to as quality and safety issues. Then we had a very strange incident at the Shanghai Auto Show in April, where a woman, a protester really, got into the show, climbed on top of a Tesla car at the company's booth, and began shouting that a brake failure in her Model 3 had nearly killed 4 or 5 members of her family. And that, again, is something that went out uncensored on Chinese social media. It went viral. It was heavily covered in the state-controlled media. So there was a sense that the government was tolerant of people bringing Tesla in for a fair bit of criticism. And that's something that was quite new. So, and then most recently, we had news that there will be a recall in effect of all of Tesla's cars in the entire country, just about over 280,000 vehicles, to deal with an issue with the autopilot software. So one time after another, there have been these kind of bad news stories that are certainly damaging consumer perceptions and are leading to an assessment among automotive experts that Tesla's charmed life in China has come to an end. I think the long-term picture is going to be very complex, and it's very interesting to think about. Tesla clearly still makes cars that people want to buy. They had very strong sales in May, for example, although those would reflect orders placed sometime before. Strong deliveries in May, I should say, which would reflect orders placed sometime before. There are lots of Tesla superfans in China, just as there are everywhere else. But I think going forward, Tesla is going to be on somewhat more of an even playing field with other foreign car makers and indeed with Chinese EV manufacturers like NIO, like XPeng, who are increasingly sophisticated, increasingly putting out cars that people really do want to buy and that can compete in terms of consumer desirability, at least in China, with Tesla. So while I don't think there's any reason to think that China will not be a very important market for Tesla going forward, some of the really over-optimistic projections may have to be reeled back a bit in light of what we've seen recently.